Marietta to Cincinnati, a railroad line was laid. Through the hills of Moonville, there'd be a great price to pay. 8 miles of desolate track, you had to walk to Mineral Town, across 2 trestles where 2 souls were run down. Ghost of the Moonville Tunnel, they still walk the line.
We've had lots of comments about our Moonville Tunnel video that we shot several years ago. And we thought we would take a few minutes to kind of give you an inside peek at how we produced that video. And one of the key things that let us do the nighttime parts of that video were these little cameras. This is a little Bell & Howell high-def digital camera that will do night vision or infrared photography. And we have 2 of these, and Ron and I both had one when we were in the tunnel. And of course, these on their own will not see very much in total darkness. You have to have a quote-unquote light source, and an infrared light source, which is not visible light to the naked eye. So we have a number of these infrared illuminators. We have a couple of these phantom lights, and then we have a couple from another company. Each camera was set up with 2 of these illuminators. Now, that allowed the camera to see within a fairly short range of the camera lens fairly well in total darkness. You must understand, to us, to the naked eye, it was pitch black, even with the illuminator running. The only thing we could see is what we could see on the view screen here on the cameras. Made for some interesting walking on uneven ground or around obstacles in the tunnel. We did 2 daytime visits to the tunnel, and I think we were there twice at night. And these cameras work really, really well, considering they're not exactly really expensive devices. And one of the reasons that the price is fairly reasonable on this particular model is the audio that this camera records is not terrific. Because of the quality of the audio on the little Bell & Howell cameras, which we knew about before we bought these cameras, but they were a really good price to have the infrared capability that they have. So we knew we had to do something else with the audio. So we have a couple of digital audio recorders, and what you hear on the Moonville Tunnel video is predominantly audio from this H4n Zoom digital audio recorder. And all of our talking is recorded on this. Also, when you hear the voice that says "cool" mimicking me that night, which we did not hear at the time, we only heard it later when we did playback on the digital audio recording. The interesting thing is that voice is only on one channel of the stereo audio. And you can see here are the 2 onboard microphones, one for left and one for right side audio. That voice only recorded on one channel, on one side, and was not picked up by the second mic. We have no idea why that is. This is also the recorder that caught that really low rumble that you hear kind of rise up out of nowhere and then fades away. And again, we have no idea what caused that. We did not hear it that night while we were in the tunnel. But the recorder heard it, and it very well may have been some stress in the rocks around, in the, the ground around the tunnel, we have never really figured out where that sound came from. But what you heard was through this digital recorder. It was an interesting project. Again, I think we were out there twice in the daytime and twice at night. At that time, you had to walk into the Moonville Tunnel, and it was probably a quarter to a half a mile walk from the parking area to the tunnel. And we'll show you some video from the daytime. It was adventurous enough because at times that pathway was only about a foot wide, some places a little more narrow than that. And off to the one side was a fairly good drop at times over into Raccoon Creek. In the daytime, it was interesting. At night, after dark, it was really interesting. And I will admit, I stumbled several times getting back in there on those 2 night trips out there. Fortunately, I stayed dry and did not end up in the creek. But it was a very interesting event, and it was very interesting walking in and out of there at night with nothing more than our infrared cameras and the flashlight that we had with us. Now, thanks to the Moonville Rail Trail Association, there is now a parking area right in front of the tunnel on the west end of the tunnel, and they have replaced where a trestle once stood for the tracks to cross. There is now a footbridge that they have built to cross Raccoon Creek, which is right between the parking area and Moonville Tunnel. So now you pull in there, park, get out, walk right across the bridge, and you're at the west end of the Moonville Tunnel. But we thought you'd kind of like kind of an inside look at some of the technology that we used when we recorded the Moonville Tunnel videos.
From Marietta to Cincinnati, a railroad line was laid. Through the hills of Moonville, there'd be a great price to pay. 8 miles of desolate track, you had to walk to Mineral Town, across 2 trestles where 2 souls were run down. Ghosts of the Moonville Tunnel, they still walk the line. You can hear their cries at night, you can hear that whistle whine. Each night they race those trains on those trestles where they died. Stuck forever on the Moonville trestle on the Marietta to Cincy line. November 4th, 1880, 2 trains would collide. In the Moonville Tunnel, 2 men would lose their lives. They say Frank Lawhead and Charles Creech still walk the line. Stuck in the Moonville Tunnel, they walk that line. The ghost of the Moonville Tunnel still walk the line. You can hear their cries at night, you can hear those whistles whine. Each night they race those trains on those trestles where they died. Stuck forever on the tracks on the Marietta to Cincy line. Well, the town of Moonville's gone now, but a few souls still remain to walk the tracks of Moonville and watch out for those trains. And each night they race those engines on the trestle where they died. Stuck forever on the Moonville tracks of the Marietta to Cincy line. Yeah, stuck forever on the Moonville tracks of the Marietta to Cincy line.
On this 1876 map of Moonville, you see the tunnel here, and then several squares marking building locations, including the Coe home. The Coe family homesteaded this area, which at its height, around 1876, included a one-room school building, a sawmill, cemetery, coal mine, and a depot which was located across the tracks from the Coe home. Both the home and the depot were located west of the road where the tracks once crossed.
Coins are down there. For some reason, there are coins on all of the stones here in the Moonville Cemetery. And this is probably just about all that's left of the village of Moonville itself. We're out here on a November night. We've just been up at the Moonville Tunnel. Here again, you can see more of the coins. Every one of them. Look here. Oh, yes.
After one of our night visits to the Moonville Tunnel back in 2017, we went over to visit the Moonville Cemetery. As you can see here, it is the final resting place for many of the Coe family. Since our visit, reportedly vandals have destroyed many of the grave markers in the cemetery.
It's been so long, most of the stones are worn away. It's hard to tell who's buried where.
Here's a marker over here with a flag.
Infantry, Ohio, Wellington, G. Coe. I'm not able to see a date.
Yeah, I don't see a date there either. Oh, that's Company 9, is it? Company C.
Oh, Company C, yeah.
Yeah, Company C. Dave and Jason here in Moonville Cemetery. We're looking with night vision here. And to be honest with you, I think we're running low on battery. Here's Benjamin and Rachel. And again, more of the coins actually on the stones.
It's a little newer one, 1844 to 1899. Again,
This is
15 cents worth of coin.
This is the second one with the last name of Coe.
Yes, this is the husband, this is the wife. Again, 15 cents.
Fairly old death dates too, 1899, 1885.
His wife was born in 1843 and died in 1885.
Wow. It's amazing. Oh, what the heck is that? A deer.
From Marietta to Cincinnati, a railroad line was laid.
The Moonville Tunnel is not the only tunnel that was on the Marietta and Cincinnati Railroad line. A few miles east of Moonville is the Kings Hollow Tunnel, sometimes referred to as King's Switch. We did visit the Kings Hollow Tunnel. However, we have yet to do a nighttime visit with our infrared cameras.
You can hear that whistle whine.
One difference between the Moonville Tunnel and the Kings Hollow Tunnel is their construction. Where the Moonville Tunnel is all brick, the Kings Hollow Tunnel is made of wood. It appears to be made up of at least 12-inch by 12-inch oak timbers, which were very carefully joined together and formed closely into the surrounding rock. We will be going back for a much closer inspection of the Kings Hollow Tunnel soon.
They walk that line. The ghost of the Moonville Tunnel still walk the line. You can hear their cries at night. You can hear those whistles whine. Each night they race those trains on those trestles where they died. Stuck forever on the tracks on the Marietta to Cincy line. Well, the town of Moonville's gone now, but a few souls still remain to walk the tracks of Moonville and watch out for those trains. And each night they race those engines on the trestle where they died. Stuck forever on the Moonville tracks of the Marietta to Cincy line. Yeah, stuck forever on the Moonville tracks of the Marietta to Cincy line.